All right, let's go back into presentation mode. All right, everybody, welcome to Teaching Agent Classes, How to Double Your Agent Referrals. I'm really glad you're here. I want to just quickly get into this. We've got a lot of content to cover. I'm going to go really, really fast. For those of you who may not know me, this is me. I am here because I have developed what some would argue or claim to be a fantastic system and process for capturing more agents, closing more loans, and becoming the go-to lender in your area, hence the book you see right here in front of you. I'm not sure if anybody's got the book. If you do have it, give me a shout out, let me know. If you don't, it's on Amazon. It's a couple of bucks. There's a Kindle version of it as well. So if you came by way of the book, thank you very much. And for those of you who aren't familiar with who I am, my background, why I might be qualified to share with you how to capture real estate agent referrals, I'm one of you. 2003, I became a loan officer after a short stint at a subprime mortgage brokerage, taking internet leads over the phone and over the internet, closing subprime loans. I went to my manager and I said, hey, what are we doing about the purchase market? And he said, purchase market, what's that? So I realized quickly that in order for me to have a long-term sustainable career, I needed to get involved in the purchase market. So long story short, joined Countrywide Home Loans in 2003. My manager was very helpful when I first started at Countrywide. He said, here's your business cards, good luck. And that's pretty much where it ended. Maybe some of you listening and watching right now can relate. And if you can, give me a shout out, say, yes, that was my training program. So I had to figure out really fast how to get a lot of agents, right? And I did what most other loan officers do. I cold called, I door knocked, I chased, I pandered, I begged. I said, give me your toughest deal, try me, use me, abuse me, whatever it takes. And did some of that work? Sure. But did it work efficiently? Did it work predictably, repeatedly? No, not really. So that's why we're here today to talk about teaching agent classes, because I realized very quickly, like many of you are here today realizing, you need to get in front of the maximum amount of agents in minimum time and put the law of large numbers to work in your favor. And that's what teaching agent classes can do. That's just one of the things that it does. We'll talk about some of those as we continue to go forward. But it made a difference for me in my business. After a struggling, really tough first year on the streets with 0 agent relationships, had to take a HELOC out on my house just to pay the bills because I was the only breadwinner, had a brand new baby at home. I had to do something fast. I was in massive pain, and I realized onesie, twosie, coffee meetings with agents where they don't show half the time really wasn't cutting it. I needed to rise above the noise and stand out in my local market and kind of change the game. That's what agent classes can do for you, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did that. So you'll walk out of here today knowing exactly how to use agent classes to capture real estate agents. And one other quick thing, some of you may have come by way of getting exposed to me through 2 different passion projects I have, Mortgage Marketing Institute. My title there, my self-assigned title is Chief Truth Teller, and that's because I'm trying to bring truth to the conversation when it comes to mortgage marketing, weed out the BS, weed out the shiny objects that really don't do much for your business, and focus on the core that does. And then through that, I'm trying to bring you knowledge and information and resources through Mortgage Marketing Radio. So I'd be curious to know how many of you here have listened to the podcast at least once. I'm going to have to change my screen view here to get in and see your responses. So how many people are listening to the podcast? Give me a shout out, let me know there. Glenn, a few times, thank you. Mike, you just ordered the book, awesome. Who else is listening to the podcast? Mark, hey Mark, how you doing? We talked the other day on the phone, good to see you here. Ed, you haven't listened yet, that's okay. Find it on the website at Mortgage Marketing Institute or iTunes, Stitcher. We got about 39 episodes on there right now. Laura, you just bought my book. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm working on a new book coming out soon, so just know that. Okay, awesome, guys. Let's get back into the content, into a full screen presentation mode. And I apologize again for going in and out of this, but I want to interact with you guys, so in order to do that, I've got to use my mouse to do that, and it changes the view. Okay, let's get into the agenda. Number 1, we're going to talk about the mindset of agents. We're going to talk about why teaching agent classes. So I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to show you, right, why teaching agent classes makes such a big difference. And by the way, I'm going to have a couple special guest loan officers on the call. So I've already got one, Richard, who's on hold. Don't have to come off hold yet, Richard. I'll let you know. But he's sitting there waiting impatiently. But I also have another guest, Wendy Thompson, who's going to be dialing in. So if you guys hear a phone interruption, whatever, don't worry. That's one of our special guests that is coming in for us today so they can share their personal stories. And then we're going to talk about how to get agents to show up for your classes and convert them to agent referral partners, because that's what it's all about. We do not host classes just for a warm, fuzzy kumbaya, right? We host classes to get meetings with qualified real estate agents and to reverse the process, to get them now coming to us instead of us chasing them. Okay, so let's talk about the agent mindset. How many of you have ever heard this before? I already have a lender. Oh, I'm a listing agent. Yeah, I don't work with any buyers. All my buyers are cash. Okay, I'm required to use my in-house lender. Anybody heard these before? Maybe you've heard I'm sleeping with my lender, I'm married to my lender, right? Some cases that's true. But what are all of these in reality? Why, right? Yes, thank you for sharing. All of these are simply what? Excuses, right? They're excuses because they want to get rid of us. They don't want to talk to us, right? Does this make sense? Why don't they want to talk to us? Well, let's talk about the typical way that a loan officer tries to interact and get attention with a real estate agent. They're following, the traditional sales model. What's the traditional sales model? Cold calls. How many here are making cold calls actually as a means to attract agents? I'm going to jump out of my screen for a second and take a look at your responses. You hear those daily. Thanks, Mike. So who here is doing cold calling right now? And by the way, no judgment. If you're doing cold calling, cool, man. Kudos to you. Who's doing? Glenn, you are. Thank you. Anybody else doing cold? And if you're not, just say no, by the way. Just don't leave me hanging. And if you're not doing cold calling, what are you doing? How are you getting in front of agents? Bruce, you're not. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, not. It just says Ott Smith, O.T. Smith. Mark, you're through LinkedIn. Ed, you're doing it. Kudos to you, Ed. Give you the torch, man. Right? Lori, no. So if you're not doing cold calls, so what are you doing? How are you getting agent meetings? Just a quick, using list reports to call somewhat a warm lead. Okay, Ed. Thank you very much. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. All right, so you're doing a variety of different things, but so let's get back into this here. So we know cold calling is just not a very effective, not a very highly leveraged activity. And the other problem with cold calling is it immediately positions us as a loan officer to look like every other loan officer in town. Because if you're not getting cold calls, if you're not making cold calls, trust me, other loan officers are, right? So if that's our main ways and means of getting in front of agents, we're immediately at a disadvantage, and it just simply is not very effective. Now, you can do it. Does it work? Yes. But only 2% of the time will you get an appointment out of a cold phone call, right? I'm looking for better conversion ratios. I don't have time to go through, 500 agents to get 10, okay? I want to go through 50 or 100 agents to get 20. Does that make sense? So I don't want to be looking like every other loan officer in town who's doing the exact same things, because if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, right, it must be a duck. And as I'm sure you do, want to rise above the noise and position myself uniquely and differently in the marketplace so that I can now attract people to want to work with me instead of me always being in pursuit and chasing, which is what every other loan officer in my town was doing when I started. They were chasing and pursuing, and the realtors, walls are always up. So why do you think they tell you, I already have a lender, all my buyers are cash? It's an excuse, because they don't have there's no unique value-based approach to that conversation. So what are they inclined to do? They're inclined to just give you excuses, just like if you get, a cold called or approached by somebody soliciting on your door, no thanks, not interested, right? It's simply human nature, because there's no relationship, there's no value exchange, there's nothing, no commonality either. No one wants to hear it, bottom line. The other big thing to realize is that, so social media and all that kind of stuff, the new rules, the traditional sales model's broken. That's because this whole social movement has changed how we engage with real estate agents. Yes, customers, as this graph shows, but also real estate agents, right? So the old school is on the left, right, where it's completely cold. It's interruption marketing. It's cold calling. We try and pitch, hey, great rates, great service. I can close in record time. I work weekends. So what, right? Everybody else is saying that. So now the better, more effective way for us to discover and add agents to our bus is through some type of an engagement where there's an ability to build likability and trust. That old cliche, I know. People do business with what? People who know, like, and trust you. Well, how do you get to know, like, and trust agents on the traditional sales model? It's difficult. The walls are up. You've got a lot of hard work ahead of you. I'd rather reposition that and get to engage with agents, get them to know, like, and trust me in a completely different format. This is where teaching agent classes comes in. So let's take part one of our agenda here. Why teach agent classes? By the way, is this making sense so far? Is it resonating with everybody here? No, take a look at your questions. Make sure you guys are tracking with me. That's right. I told you this would be interactive, and it is. Thanks, Glenn. Yes, it makes sense. Awesome. Thanks, Isabel. Terrific. All right. So let's get back into the content. Why teach agent classes and workshops? Okay. Let's look at what I'm proposing to you is the new agent marketing funnel, the new rules of marketing, if you will, that you should be following. And this ties into the whole social concept I just shared. What's it all about today? It's about engaging first in a conversation, right? And you engage through various different mediums and platforms, social media, Facebook, all that stuff. But one of the ways you engage and capture somebody's attention is through something of value, relevancy, content. You've heard of the term content marketing. Content is king. That's what's so great about social engagement is you have the ability to set the foundation for the relationship with something that's valuable and relevant to the real estate agent, to allow that conversation to even engage instead of most LOs show up and throw up. Most LOs are, it's all about me, 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 me. So enough about you, more about them. Okay? So we have to have a process where we can, number one, A, as you can see at the top of this funnel here, engage. B, capture a percentage of those relationships that there may be some potential interest, some affinity, some likability to work together. And then we've got to obviously nurture that engagement, nurture those relationships, and go reach a point of converting and obviously partnership. That's why I'm such a big believer in teaching agent classes, as you'll see in a moment, because no other medium, no other format provides every step of that funnel as effectively and efficiently as belly to belly with classes adding value. And I'll walk you through why that is. Let's talk about the power of in-person. The power of in-person allows you to do a few different things all simultaneously, all at once. I mean, we already know that's where trust is built the quickest, right? The power of in-person allows you to reach top agents. As you've seen from some of our past graduates, you'll hear from a couple of our guests, it's pretty tough to reach top producing agents in the office, right? They're not in the office, or if they are, they got walls around them, they're busy, it's a closed office, it's a, there's a lender inside there. But being in person allows you to build trust a lot faster. It allows you to circumvent closed offices. It gets agents coming out versus you having to try and break through Fort Knox walls of a closed office. And because you build trust faster, right, you accelerate the entire process by being in person of earning referrals. I'm a fan of social media, but real estate relationships are not built on social media. They may start there, right? The engagement may begin there. But if you want to take it to the next level and have, instead of just having, a connection with somebody, right? You want to have a relationship, that needs to be in person. That's where that really starts to take off. So that's why the power of in-person is so powerful, because all of these things are happening simultaneously and you're building your personal influence. I talk a lot about positioning yourself differently, rising above the noise. When you are the host of a agent class, when you're teaching or sharing relevant content that makes a difference in their business, you are influencing them. They are seeing you completely differently, not as a, quote, air quotes here, loan officer, right? You're now a thought leader. You're an authority, right? You've got credibility. And because you're being a go-giver first, instead of a go-taker, you're building trust and reciprocation. Is this making sense? Okay. What else are you doing when you're teaching agent classes? You're building your personal brand. You're positioning yourself uniquely. You're standing apart, as I said, from all the other loan officers in town who are showing up and throwing up. You're adding value. I can't, you'll hear these stories in a couple of minutes from loan officers who, when they are finished with these classes, the gratitude, the thankfulness from these agents is amazing. They walk up, they shake their hand, thank you so much for coming. They have brokers who manage different real estate franchises and come up to them and say, hey, can you come teach this at my office? So you're adding tremendous value and you're scaling your reach. Remember, the law of large numbers. It's a numbers game, right? So I always ask officers, how many of you here, as a matter of fact, let's do this right now. Let me ask you this quick poll question. You're going to see a poll pop up in about 6 seconds, okay? Here is the question I ask, and I want you guys to answer this as well on your screen. Do you need more agents on your bus? I'll give you about 30 seconds to answer this. Meaning, to get to your goals of referrals, your funded units, right, for the month, for the year. Guys, go ahead and answer this now. For anybody not watching, come back to your computer screen and look at the poll. That is now being offered. Do you need more agents on your bus? I'm going to close this down in 3, in 2, in 1. Close poll. Okay. So let's take a look here. 100% of you said yes. 100%. So the question is, how are you going to get more agents on that bus, right? Let me hide these results, go back to our presentation. So if you need more agents on your bus, so you guys shared a variety of different things that you're doing out there, listing reports and other things like that. But again, right, I remember my story, right? I had a brand new baby at home, key lock out of the house. I'm borrowing money to pay my bills. So I needed to get in front of as many agents as fast as I could. Now, I'm probably like you, many of you listening and watching, you're probably good once you get in front of an agent, right? Maybe you don't need a ton of coaching on how to convert that relationship. Maybe what you just need is more at-bats, right? Get more agents on your bus, like you guys said. And so I think we've established that most of the traditional ways are just too onesie-twosie. They take too long. So agent classes put you in front of 20, 30 or more agents at a time. Imagine that being your first meeting now with 20 agents instead of 1, and then half the time they don't show. Or you figure out, you know what, they're not right for me. They don't have enough business. They don't. There's not a good relationship fit. Don't like them. Their breath stinks. Whatever it is, right? We know it's not. We have to sift and sort. We're going to have our A, B, and C players on our bus. So knowing that we need more agents on our bus, you got to get in front of more agents that much faster, because if you can do it in large group format and apply the law of large numbers, then you're going to reach your goals that much faster. Does this make sense? Okay. Another reason why teaching agent classes is so powerful, as it ties into in-person, is it's making an impact. It's all these things combined that I talked about: the value, the in-person, the influence that happens, the reciprocation because you're sharing valuable content. You don't have your hand out. You're not asking for a loan. You're simply showing up and giving. That's it. It makes a personal impact being belly to belly. And then lastly, it's reverse prospecting. This is probably the most fun. I got to tell you, when I really discovered this and the lights went on, and the same for some of you that are listening, you'll hear the stories in a few minutes. When you can change the game, and you really, once you realize that you don't have to be chasing realtors, you don't have to cold call unless you choose to. You can now get agents coming to you and put them through your qualification and sifting and sorting process. Now what you've got is what I talked about in one of my podcasts, is what every successful business has. And that is a predictable system for generating clients and converting clients, right? That's how you succeed with real estate agents at scale. You need a system for putting them in the top of the funnel and then sifting and sorting, right, the actual referral partners who come out the bottom of the funnel. But the cold calling, the onesie-twosie, the coffee meetings one at a time, the other things that just kind of are fragmented and aren't putting you in front of large numbers and don't have a process, that's where we get up and down on that roller coaster ride. That's where it gets tough. And what's great about this is, now think about this. I know many of you listening right now, what happens is this. You get out there, you get busy, you get some deals, you get you get out of the market. You go back into your office and you hunker down and you babysit those loans. And you walk them through your loan process and you're always like making sure, are they closing, or we got this, we got that. And so you stop marketing. It's, for some of you, you know, that's not something I can necessarily change. But here's why classes will help you smooth out the roller coaster ride. Because if that's you, if you turn on and off that marketing switch, and all you do, though, in between babysitting loans is go out there and do the onesie-twosie stuff again, guess what? You basically have to restart and push that rock up the hill over again, over and over and over. But if what you were doing is the agent classes thing, and you know you're getting in front of 20 agents at a time, then it's less painful for you to punch in and out of babysitting loans back in market, babysitting loans back in market, because you know you're going to keep accelerating results every single time. You know, you'll be getting in front of 20 agents or so every single time. So you're not going to be as impacted by the ups and downs in the roller coaster of you focusing on marketing or not. Does that make sense, guys? So what do top producers do, right? So I've interviewed a lot of top producers. You can hear them on the podcast. As a matter of fact, this is one of the probably my most favorite interviews. Shashank came to this country with nothing, literally a few dollars in his pocket. You can listen to his podcast. I forget the episode number, but you know it's on the website, so go look at it. Bottom line is, Shashank told me and would tell you what put him on the map in a brand new area from coming from another country, barely speaking the language, was when he finally started to teach agent classes. For all the reasons I just told you about. The biggest one for him is it positioned him as unique and different in his market, and he was able to reach agents he wouldn't otherwise reach. Now he's one of the top 200 loan officers in the country. How about Dawn, right? 131 units, 45 million in 2015. She does a monthly educational seminar every month, right? She saw when she did it a $10 million volume increase in her yearly volume. What kind of a raise is that for you listening right now to do an additional $10 million a year in production? I mean, I'm guessing, right, that's like another $100,000, perhaps more. Not too bad from just adding one activity to your business. Or Matthew, right, ranked in the top 1%, 32 million, 138 units, 2015. Again, these are 2015 numbers. They're doing similar stuff in 2016. He hosts Agent Lunch and Learns. His point is high tech will never win over high touch. I couldn't agree with him more. All right, so let's talk about the other piece. How do you get butts in the seats? Because I think you guys finally are on board where you understand, you know, the value of teaching agent classes. Now let's talk about how you get butts in the seats. First of all, getting agents to show up starts with your topic. How many of you here think that agents want to learn Financing 101, 203K programs and stuff like that? Yes or no? Let me take a look at the list here. You guys think they're really excited to come out and learn about financing topics? Bruce, no, no, no. Glenn, no. Yeah. Laurie, no. Everybody seems to say no. Well, that's good. You guys get that. So they definitely don't want to learn that. Now, will you get some that come out? Sure. You'll get 6, 7, 10, whatever, that come out to a class. And it's okay to incorporate that every now and then. I'm not saying don't ever do mortgage-related stuff. I'm just saying you've got to have other relevant content if you really want to get on the map in a big way. So what do they want to learn? Let me share with you some of the hottest topics that agents want to learn. Anything that's related to business or self-improvement, market-related trends, tech tools, apps, things that impact the real estate industry, apps and tools that they would use in their business. Give you an example of some actual event, some seminar class titles. These are ones that we actually provide. New rules of real estate marketing, how to use content marketing. I've got to minimize my thing. How to use content marketing to get noticed and get clients in today's noisy world. How about millennial real estate marketing? Very hot topic. How to engage with the most influential consumers in history. Getting started with video marketing. 15 essential marketing videos every agent should consider using. These are the topics that fill the seats, that get butts in the seats. These are the topics that add tremendous value and position you as a go-giver. These are the topics that get agents saying, thank you so much for sharing this information. Can you come teach this at my office? So the real key to getting agents to show up is, number one, having a hot, relevant topic. This is an actual picture of an agent class that I taught, and this is just half of the room, by the way, on the left-hand side. How many of you here would like to have an agent class with just the half of the room, right? Add the other side of the room as well, okay? They come out because they want to hear this content. They're not getting it in most cases from their broker. Even at places like Keller Williams and stuff, right? They don't, as great as those are for training and education, they're hungry for content. You bring them that content. They're going to be thankful. This is a shot of me streaming a Facebook Live video just the other day. Hey, Wendy, is that you? Hold on, sounds like we got Wendy on. Wendy, can you hear me?
I can, thank you, yes.
All right, could you do me a favor? Just mute your phone. We'll bring you back on in a minute.
I don't have, okay, perfect.
Okay, cool. All right, let's get back into how you fill the room, how you get agents' butts in the seats. So number one, it starts with a hot topic. Number two, it starts with power partnering, teaming up with your local affiliate, title, escrow, home warranty, home inspection, people like that. Okay, that's where you're going to really get a lot of value, is by tapping into your partner networks. Why? Because they've got access to real estate agents that you don't. They are in offices every single day. You are now piggybacking on the goodwill and trust that they build in their local market. So that's a great way to leverage their network to help fill the room. And there's an implied trust and credibility that comes with it when you partner with them. Okay? It's the Trojan Horse. It's tapping into affiliate email lists, the existing relationships. I mentioned that. They're in the offices daily, and they can help offset any expenses you might have related to your class, such as room rental, some small food expenses, and things like that. So I always encourage loan officers to team up with other affiliates to help fill the room. Next step in filling the room, multi-channel marketing, boots on the ground. I said this earlier, building relationships with agents is a belly-to-belly business. It is not something that happens behind your computer in your office. That happens in the field, belly-to-belly, blood in the streets, as they say. So become an affiliate member of your board of realtors. Some amazing things come out of that for you if you leverage it right. You get access to the agents. You get access to what's going on in the local market. You get your thumb on the pulse of, the agent community and so forth. You can attend the meetings, the broker previews, etc. You can actually get invited to present at the broker previews and pitch your upcoming class. A way to continue to build your brand and get in front of agents, get invited to office meetings. Boots on the ground is also using old school marketing, right? Things like marketing flyers. Here's an example of one right here from one of our members, Lauren Acosta, who did her own New Rules of Real Estate Marketing. So now, picture this. You're in your local market. You got your title, your escrow, your other affiliates. They're all handing out flyers for you when they're going into offices and broker previews. You're sharing flyers when you're meeting with agents and going to offices. You're handing them out at the board of realtors kind of preview meetings and stuff. It's what I call a shock and awe campaign. This is how you fill the room. All the different elements that I'm talking to you about, including things like Facebook, sharing the event on Facebook, actually creating an event on Facebook, running it in your news feed, boosting a post if you choose to do that with a nice graphical image about your upcoming event, and boosting that post so it reaches more agents. You can even run an ad, a targeted ad on Facebook targeting agents within a 10-mile radius of you, and get that to show up in their news feed and have them make reservations. And then real quick, how do you automate this whole process so you don't spend a bunch of time managing all the moving parts of a class? Use technology, automate it, right? Use something like Eventbrite, which is free. It is free, and it allows you to host unlimited amounts of events on there, capture reservations, send automated follow-ups, send people actual digital tickets, right? It has a very kind of basic CRM in there that will allow you to send reminders and print out a reservation attendee list, right? All these different tools that you can use to help fill the room, email, video, put together a quick little bomb video and just promote the upcoming class with that video, send it out over email, share it out over social media, right? And then let's not forget the almighty telephone. Probably one of the greatest tools ever invented to have a human connection with somebody, right? In a quick and efficient way. Telephone. Too many LOs forget about the power of the telephone, and they rely too heavily on the technology, okay? So when in doubt, use the phone to make personal phone calls to invite and remind, okay? Here's an example of an Eventbrite page. This is an example of what it looks like when you set up a class. You can see it's very professional. It captures the reservations. It tells everybody what it's all about. Every time somebody makes a reservation, you get a notification. You capture their name, phone number, email. What are you doing? You're building your agent database at the same time. Aha, Grasshopper, very creative. Absolutely. Okay, let's get into the meat. Talking about converting agents to referral partners, and then I want to bring on my guests. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is why we're doing this. I will tell you, here's how you convert agents to referral partners. You've got to be willing to use the F word. I know, shocker. That's okay. I'm a big fan of the F word. Use it all the time, even around the kids. That's right. Anybody know what the F word is? Anybody? Anybody? I know, Laura, you know what it is. That's right. It's follow-up. Follow-up. So I'm not going to go through all this in depth just for sake of time, but you guys get what I mean by follow-up. Don't get lazy. Use the phone. Follow up. Every connection over the phone or otherwise is a chance to stay top of mind with that agent and to begin to build that likability and trust to demonstrate your professionalism. So you want to make personal confirmation calls to say, thanks for registering for the class. I'm so looking forward to meeting you. Before your class, you want to give at least 2 phone reminders. Looking forward to seeing you on April 20th for Getting Started with Video Marketing. Post-event, this is where the magic happens. Has to happen within 48 hours. If it doesn't, might as well kiss him goodbye. 48 hours, gotta call him and thank you for showing up. And send thank you emails as well for those people you won't reach. Leave a voicemail. Thank you for coming, right? This is your chance to shine and demonstrate yourself as a professional. And I always talk about handwritten thank you cards to high-value agents. How many LOs are sending handwritten thank you cards, even though we've heard about it for years? Very few. You stand out, rise above the noise. All this, why are you doing all this? Because now you want agents to, let me ask you this, how many agents do you have that if you called them, they would take your call? If you saw them out publicly, just by chance at the mall or whatever, they'd be nice to you. They would say hi, okay? This is why we're doing all this. So we are getting to build that know, like, and trust to build these relationships. It's up to you. You're building your brand every single day, whether you choose to make the calls or make the emails or not, okay? So just remember, success with agents, it's not about you, okay? Value becomes before referrals, and agents, we've demonstrated, are hungry for good content. Agent classes are one of the best, most leveraged ways for you to engage in your local market, but not once. It's not a one-shot wonder and then do it next year. Consistency, whether it's monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, just do it consistently. Once you, it's like riding a bike or learning to drive. Once you do it, you'll get more and more used to it, and it'll become like second nature for you. And if you do follow this plan and system, I can tell you your success is guaranteed. So let me pause for a second and bring on first Richard, because you've been waiting the longest. So if you want to unmute yourself, Richard. Richard Murphy out of Los Angeles, California. Are you there?
I am here. How you doing today, Jeff?
I'm doing great. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me. Now it's time to listen to somebody more entertaining than me, more valuable than me, and that's Richard, because Richard's been putting classes to work in his market for how long now? 3 months, 6 months?
Gosh, just under. They've been great.
Okay. Yeah, so I know you and I talked a couple weeks ago, and you were telling me this story about like the first class you did. I was blown away by all these amazing things that came out of that. So would you mind just sharing kind of your story with your classes?
Sure. I re-entered, I've been in the mortgage industry for 18 years. I have served in a variety of capacities, most recently for the last 8 years or so, management. I stopped originating, but at the end of the day, I learned that I didn't really like babysitting and didn't care for being away from my 10-year-old flying on, airplanes all over the place. So I thought, I'm going to be a loan officer again. That's what I'll do. Well, wait a second. If I call a real estate agent, number one, I've not been originating for years, so my contacts, my relationships, gone. I got to start fresh. I'm in my 40s. I was a little scared. And I thought I got to be different. If I call a real estate agent and say that I answer my phone on the weekends, right, crickets, dead silence. I have low rates, great programs, down payment assistance, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. The real estate agent doesn't care. And if that's what you're using as your stick, change it. So if I call, and I did, old contacts start, hey, I'm originating again. You are? What are you up to? I'm teaching agents how to do their video marketing. 30%, guys, 30%, I think I learned this from you, Jeff, 30% of the posts being looked at now, today, Facebook, have video. 30%. Google owns, Google owns YouTube. So it's real easy to shoot a video, create your own YouTube channel. You can do that in under 10 minutes. It's free, it's easy, and I'm not tech savvy, so if I can do it, you guys can do it. So I tell people that I'm doing these video marketing classes, and like a sponge, they soaked it up because people see people shooting videos on Facebook, but they don't know how to do it. Secondly,
Right. So tell us about the first class you hosted. What happened at the end of that? First of all, how many did you have, and what happened at the end?
The first class I had, there were about 23 or 24 people, and I was pleasantly surprised with the results. I had half of the room wanting to talk to me afterwards. Now, understand that a lot of the agents who come to these classes, they're not terribly busy, so they had the time to be in the class. That's where we as loan officers, same thing when we're talking to borrowers, any referral partner, we have to have our scripts down so we can vet the person with whom we're speaking, and we can figure out within a very short period of time, this person has business to refer, or this person just goes from class to class because that's how they fill their days. Nevertheless, being able to get into that office, I would not have gotten in for sure unless I was offering something different. The video marketing was something different. And then after the class, agents talk, and the next thing I know, I'm in one of the top C21s in the state of California. And now they want me to come and work there, and their agents are jacked excited about it because they've told me. I knew a few agents in there anyway, but they didn't know that I was originating again. They said, wait a second, the other lenders who do call us, they tell us that they answer their phones on the weekend, and they want to talk about down payment assistance. And we don't care because we've heard it from every angle, in and out, back and forth. This was something new. So I would encourage everybody on this call to immediately, it's nothing to think about. If you're short on cash, that's just an excuse. It's not $10,000. Plus, I'm not tech savvy. I'm black and white. I'm stick figures, and my stick figures aren't even straight. Jeff's presentations are professional. They look good, you guys. They look good. So now these people, real estate agents, see me in front of the class. They think I put it together. I don't take your credit, Jeff. I always tell them about Jeff.
That's what it's for.
For sure. But it took all the pressure off of me. Guy in his 40s, starting over, tons of information in my head, but not tons of contacts anymore. I got to get up to speed as quickly as I can and use leverage. You mentioned it earlier in the webinar, Jeff. I can go out and try to meet with 20 people a month, or in 45 minutes, I can have 20 people come to me. Way better to have 20 people come to me.
Exactly. Cool. All right, so you're going to keep doing classes?
Oh, for sure. I've got another one next week. I did one last week. I'm trying to do 3 or 4 a month because I need to have a scalable, predictable model. By the way, guys, if it's not scalable and predictable, you're not in business. You're still guessing. I've run national platforms a couple of times for big banks, and if you don't know that if I talk to 10 people, I get 3 loan apps and I fund 1 loan, so all I have to do is keep talking to 10 people to fund 1 loan, or 30 people if I want to fund 3. Now I've got scalable, predictable. These agent classes, when you do them, track your numbers, guys. I had 20, I had 25, I had 15, I had 37, whatever it is. How many people did I get apps from? How many people have I funded loans for? And that will help you determine how often you should be doing classes. They're a great way to get into new offices. I love it. I'm totally hooked. I'm jacked up excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know you're in your car, so I want to give you back your day, but I appreciate you making time for being here, and I know you and I will be talking soon, so thank you, Richard.
Sweet. Oh, thank you, Jeff. You rock, dude. Your presentations are freaking awesome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man.
You bet.
I love doing it. All right, so we got one other person waiting on hold. Wendy, Miss Wendy Von Thompson, are you there? You have permission to unmute.
I am, Jeff. Hello, everyone.
Awesome. Hey, so I know it's been a while since you and I talked, and I think you originally connected, you and I, gosh, maybe a year ago or more. Well, we've been connected for a long time, many years, but in terms of the class,
time, like 10, like 11 years, yes. So
you keep bringing that up, and it ages me.
Well, that's okay. If I say 11, that means I'm aged as well. So yes.
There you go. And we're aging just fine. Just, what's your story with classes? When I remember you first did yours, and I think you got some great results, but what do you want to share with anybody considering classes?
Oh, I would definitely suggest it. Just like Richard, mentioned, and I guess I should have went first because he did a phenomenal job. So, really, just I've been in the business 16 years, and I have always produced. And, just because of the way that the business was, you kind of become complacent. You really don't have to do a whole lot to actually get the business or differentiate yourself from other loan officers because there's so much business to go around. And, one of the things that really attracted me to this, again, which has been, I guess, about a year and a half ago, was, I really, really wanted to bring value to my real estate agents as well as to the brokers of those offices that I visited, that I have agents, relationships with. And the biggest thing is, realtors used to refer every single person to a lender, whether that was you or someone else. They're going to be actually giving out referrals. And I feel like realtors have gotten a lot more complacent, a little lazy, if you want to say. And if someone already comes pre-approved, then they're comfortable with that, and they don't really try to say, hey, but, do you want to give my preferred lender, Wendy or Jeff a call? They're really great, whatever. They just kind of accept it and go on. And so I feel like my biggest thing is that I actually want to be viewed as a partner, and instead of feeding them, I want to actually teach them to fish. And I think that the tools in the classes that you have, and for me, not only just the video marketing, but I thought the millennial marketing class was phenomenal, even just for myself, that it was applicable to my business as well. And I feel like it's the brokers, kind of going more to the broker side. I did mine, instead of just opening it up to a bunch of different offices, I actually utilized it as a strategy to go one-on-one with offices. And, the brokers, they want to provide value to their realtors. And so if you can go and connect with that broker owner, potentially broker owner, or just a broker, and say, hey, I know that sometimes you run out of topics, or you are not really sure how to add value, you can become a partner with that broker and actually volunteer to come in on a consistent basis where you're actually adding value. And like Richard mentioned, we're not just available over the weekends or, returning phone calls. We are actually helping those agents grow their business. And so that's just really where I've got the most value. And like you mentioned, the presentations are, bar none, they're extremely professional, much more professional than I could have put together, as well as the research that's involved with actually compiling the actual presentation in of itself. And then, you have the notes. It's great. One of the things I also really loved about it is kind of, I guess, the report card, which is, in addition to the presentation and the notes for those presentations, the also, kind of the sign-in sheet that they have, that they actually give feedback. It kind of lets you know where they are. Are they happy with their current lender? Are they looking for a new lender relationship? So you can kind of fine-tune and determine who it is that you actually want to go out and, maybe have a one-on-one meeting with. And that's what's important. You're doing this kind of 20 or 30 people at a time, and you typically already know who it is that you want to attract. And I know that we've always heard that, like you said, the money's in the FU, which is obviously the follow-up. And that is really where I would say to get your, your follow-up strategy really fine-tuned and in place as well, because it's not just about the class. It is truly about the follow-up and what you're actually going to do with those attendees as well.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that. I don't know if anybody's got a quick question for Wendy before she goes, but she's also kind enough to sit in her car and be here today, so I appreciate that. And I know you're going to be doing some classes in the near future, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't see any questions coming in, so I'm going to thank you again for being here. I'm going to transition for those that want to learn more about powerful presentations. We're going to walk through that right now, so you can either hang on or go back to your day, and you and I will catch up soon.
Okay, and Jeff, can I say one other thing as well?
Sure. Go ahead.
I think, like I mentioned, I signed up like a year and a half ago, and I know that, Jeff, you and I have had actually more, several conversations, and Jeff is extremely open and really wants to hear from us as originators as to topics that we really feel would be beneficial to actually be able to teach. And so that's where he needs us to give feedback so that he can know what presentations to actually compile and have for us available as well, which is extremely important. So it's not just him coming up with the topics that he thinks is important, but actually listening to us and determining what presentations will be added as well.
Yeah, that's where I get some of the best ideas for presentations is LOs are in the market and they tell me, hey, you know, a lot of realtors are asking about this, man. Can you do one on this? I'm like, all right, let's build it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. And it's a minimal investment, and it will definitely, you'll be paid off the first time that you do a presentation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. Take care.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, everybody, let's get back to business here. So just in the final minutes we've got left, thank you for sticking on this long. I just wanted to walk you through, if you're interested in how do you get started, and turning, you know, connecting to a system, as you heard, is pretty much done for you. Powerful Presentations Masterclass is my program. Enrollment is open for the next week. That's it. And why I only open it for a week is because I work closely, as you heard, with every one of our members. So there's not 1,000 members in here at all. It's very boutique, if you will, and specialized. So this is the website, getpowerfulpresentations.com. I'll put a link in here before we're done, but this is the page you would go. You can see we've got testimonials here. Richard, these are just some of our past students. I want to walk you real quickly right through what you get, okay? This entire system. It is an online, not only course, but done for you presentation. So I'll real quickly walk you through this. We've got 5 different modules. So it's everything that you need to get started. Number 1 is planning your presentation, right? The quick start guide. This is where we talk about where and when to host it, how to get co-sponsors, the best days and times, you know, etc. So that's the foundation, step 1 there, the quick start guide. Step 2 is the tools and resources that you're going to need, right? So these are things like I talked about, like Eventbrite, ordering your custom marketing flyer, which you'll see in a second. You actually have a custom marketing flyer generated for you, so you don't have to worry about having a flyer designed. How's that for cool? Module 3, this is what we're talking about, promoting your presentation, getting agents' butts in the seats. This is where I walk you through, right, a class on everything I just highlighted earlier on our shock and awe marketing strategy. How to team up with co-sponsors to promote, right? How to leverage your marketing materials, your event, your website, and Facebook, and things like that. Bottom line, how to get butts in the seats. And by the way, for those of you who aren't familiar, back in 1995, I started my career in sales, mainly with Tony Robbins. And we went into a city and in 6 weeks, put 2,000 people in a room every 6 weeks. So I know a thing or two about getting butts in seats. And that's a lot of where Module 3 comes in. Module 4, delivering a powerful presentation. This is how to speak with confidence and power. Some of you may be less experienced, some of you may be more experienced. I will tell you, you do not need to be Elvis, returned from the grave, entertaining, right? You just need to be you. So we're going to cover how to present with confidence. You do not need to be a topic expert at all. You're simply the messenger and sharing the information that's included in the slides. And we'll talk about how you actually use our appointment setting form. This is what Wendy just referred to. She called it a report card. Same thing. This is how we capture agents who want to meet with us now. And then module 5 is the F word, right? It's all about follow-up. How do we convert these agents to referral partners? So I walk you through the whole plan and system for capturing agents, setting meetings, walking through kind of a needs analysis meeting, right? What to ask them, how to identify if it's the right agent, and things like that. So all that's included. I offer a 30-day money-back, no-risk guarantee on this. Dive in for 30 days. Do your first presentation. Follow the system. And if you're not thrilled after doing all that in your first 30 days, then we'll refund your money. No questions asked. I've never had anybody ask for a refund who's gone through that. You can see additional members here. Wendy, she was just on the call. She's here on the left side of the screen. And so that's all well and good, but here's where the sweet sauce is, the secret sauce, the magic, if you will. This is where most LOs probably struggle, is with creating the content. So in this bundled package are 3 done-for-you PowerPoint presentation templates. The 3 classes that you have available to you are Millennial Marketing for Real Estate, Lori mentioned that, Getting Started with Video, 15 essential marketing videos every agent should create, and the New Rules of Real Estate Marketing, how to get noticed and get clients in today's noisy world. These are complete done-for-you PowerPoints. All the graphics, speaker notes, handouts, downloads, soup to nuts, done. I can tell you if you were to pay for somebody to design these on your own, it'd be at least $400 or more for each one of these. So the conservative value estimate on that is about $1,000. So in addition to that, included in this, you also get the audio hot seats. These are interviews that I do with other loan officers, some like you just heard, where they're sharing their best practices for doing classes in their local area. So we get to learn from others. You also have shareable ebooks and checklists. So at the end of every class, there's a giveaway. There's something that we share with the agents to continue the conversation. In this case here, you can see an example of an ebook. The idea is the agent takes this this ebook and shares it on their social media, their websites, and so forth. We have checklists. Something is always tied to a particular class. So those are included. The agent appointment form. This is what Lori's talking about to set the agent meetings, to find out what issues are they having with their lender. What's the one big idea they have? Would they be open to meeting having coffee, and talking about their one big idea? This is how you actually set those appointments after the class. And of course, updates for life. If there's ever a change, some of the information that we put in there about statistics or something technology related, we'll update the content in there. But everything you included, you get here is actually this total value of $1,973. There's 3 total done for you presentations plus all the other stuff. Your no money back, or your 100% money back, no hassle guarantee. Normally $497, only $197. As I said, it's a limited time enrollment. I'm opening this for the next week and taking on only new members during that time, so I can get the additional attention that everybody needs. So if you want to participate, you can simply go to getpowerfulpresentations.com. Now, before you do, I want to show you real quickly what the inside of the memberships looks like. So as you can see here, we've got these 5 different modules. Each one's a video module with me teaching you. Okay. This is the tools. This is where you order your seminar flyer. So it's very simple. You simply fill out your form. You put in your agent class title, name, info, NMLS, your photo, company logo, venue, location, address, so on and so forth. This is the Eventbrite website URL that goes in here, and within 48 hours, you hit that submit button, you'll get a custom flyer sent to your email. We will make some revisions to it as well if needed. Usually no issues around that. Okay, so these are all the modules: promoting, presenting. I'm going to show you this real quickly. Done for you presentations. This is where you will see the content. As you can see, each one of these presentations includes a video of me narrating the presentation as if it was you. So you get to hear what the presentation should sound like, right? So there's each one of the class topics. You've got the download for the speaker notes, the transcript, the handouts, the sample marketing flyers. You can start sharing that with your co-sponsors and get them involved early. The appointment setting form, right? The checklist and resources that come with everything, okay? So it's all there included for you. You get to watch and listen to the presentation, and then you get to take that and make it your own, practice it yourself, download the PowerPoints. It's all done for you right there. Plus the additional bonuses are here, the hot seats, so on and so forth. Okay, there's the bonus section. All right, so I'm going to be taking questions here in just a second. I want to transition out of this back to the go to meeting, show. All right, as I said, I'm also offering a bonus just for the first 10 who enroll today. Instead of just 1 free coaching session, which is normally included, you're going to get 3 one-on-one 30-minute coaching sessions. It's only for the first 10. There's very limited bandwidth, so I'm just making that as a special incentive for you guys to take action now. Spring is in the air. Now's the time to get in your market, get out there and make stuff happen. This is where you want to go. Let me just scale this down a bit so you guys can see. Getpowerfulpresentations.com. And I'm going to see if there's some questions coming in right now. Okay, yes, Mike, $197 for everything. That is correct. All 3 presentations, everything you saw, one-time fee, no recurring fee or anything like that. These 3 presentations should last you at least 3 months, get you off and running and started, right, or more. Plus you can repeat these and do these in different areas of your market. Are they NMLS marketing compliant? I don't know what that means, Glenn. Every company has their own different compliant requirements. So these fall under the guise of it's an educational class. So I've never had a situation where these have run into any issues with compliance. So hopefully that answers your question somewhat. Lori, how long are each of the presentations? They're about 45 minutes in length. So you plan on your class teaching time to be an hour. And this is where I walk you through all this kind of stuff, right? Usually the first is a lunch and learn. Let's say it runs from 11 to 11:30, the networking and lunch portion, and 11:30 to 12:30 is your class, for example, okay? So hopefully that answers your question. Keep the questions coming in, guys. If you already have enough information, go ahead and make that informed decision. Go ahead and click on over to getpowerfulpresentations.com because we are closing enrollment next week. Sooner you get in, the faster we can find your venue, your date, and get you started in getting in front of maximum agents in minimum time. So If there are any other questions, I'm about to end it here. We're at the top of the hour. I will keep the question open for a couple more minutes. I would love to have any of you guys who are ready to take that next step. I'm excited to work with you and get you some of the same results you just heard from some of our special guests. So, okay, yes, thank you, Glenn. You have a good weekend. Thank you, Ott Smith. Good info. Love to see you in the membership. Terrific. Okay, guys, you are free to go. I thank you so much for being here. I hope you got some value out of today, whether you decide to join us or not. That's your personal call. If you do want to get involved, you know how to do it. Get powerfulpresentations.com. That's where to go. Okay. I'm just going to hang on here and see. Not sure where that name came from. Somehow the way you put the name in there, Mr. or Mrs. Smith. I don't know which it is, but anyway. Thanks, guys. You're welcome to leave now. I'm just going to keep it open because usually what happens is people have a couple of other questions as they're sitting on here, and I want to be here to answer the questions for them. Email support. There's a good one. Unlimited. Yes. So not only if you join today, right, you get the 3 30-minute coaching sessions with me instead of just one. You get unlimited email support from me as well. And by the way, I'm available. I mean, I just make myself available because my goal is to have you guys be successful. I know what it's like to be in the field every day doing this and trying to get realtor business. So here to help you be successful. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Signing off. If you're still here and you're not asking a question, you're either not listening or you're just wondering, am I going to keep talking endlessly? And no, I'm not. I'm going to end it right now so you guys can go over to getpowerfulpresentations.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.